Okay, folks, so we're going to do a quick tutorial on this. It's pretty basic, probably very similar to the silent or anything like that. This one's called the Tabulator, and it's a 1954. Your standard color is beige and green. You can go in the back and you can see the tab bar back here. This has 5 of the tab stops. Normally there's 6, and you just move them to where you want. You just pick a little, there's slits, and so you just move the tab stops. I call them tab keys. This is what they look like. You don't want to take them out. You just want to leave them in there probably. And if you don't think you'll ever use tabs, or you don't want tabs in there, you could always just move them to the very end just so you don't lose these pieces. While we're here, here's your margin sets, and you can see the folded page holder, paper holder here. But let me turn it over so we can look at that. So here's the back plate. You just fold that over. You can set your margins by pressing and dragging. All right, this is your carriage if you're not familiar. This is called a platen, and you turn it with the rollers here. You can hear it clicking. And then on the left side is if you look, is like a little silver button or whatever, and you can pull that out, and that you hear it's not clicking anymore. This is kind of like a variable spacer. So like if you're putting in lined paper and you need to line it up just right, that's what you would use that for. And then once you're done, then you press that back in and it re-engages. And I believe that goes every line, either half line or every line. So and then you have your line selector, single line, double line, okay? And then to move the carriage is the 2 levers right here. You just pull that forward. Here's your bell. The bell will go off when you hit the end of your margin. And when you do reach that margin, it's gonna stop on you. And then that's where you have your margin release right here. It says MR. You press that, and then you're able to continue past your margin in case you need to like finish a word or a thought or something before going to the next line. So real quick, this is how you load the paper. You just set it in the back, turn the handle. This doesn't have a paper bale bar, whatever you want. You can bring these in. My typewriter has these metal pieces, and I think they get in the way, so I pull them off to the side, but it's whatever you prefer. And then here's your paper holder. It's back here. So you can put that up like that. Keeps your paper from flopping over. And then if you move the carriage over to the left, you can pop open the top by grabbing the middle and just pulling up. Inside, you'll see the escapement and the key bars, tab keys. I can't even think of the right word right now. Anyway, and then that is, take a look of where you would load. Thread your ribbon through. Black is on top, red is on bottom. You might want to screenshot this. There's little slits in that metal where you would thread that ribbon through, and when you put in, this is a universal ribbon spool. It's a 2-inch or 2 1/4-inch spool will fit in here. And then you have guide wires. Make sure it goes through that. So you're going to you just pull this out like this, and you can then drop it back in. And make sure that ribbon is gone, goes through that guide wire. Now the ribbon comes over the top and around the back and underneath. Top, around the back, underneath, okay? And then you thread through there. Sorry, I'm really terrible at threading ribbon. 1, it's messy, and 2, you have to have a little bit of patience. So I leave that to my husband. He does a better job. Over here is your, boy, all the words are leaving me today. Your tension selector. And it determines how hard these type bars are going to strike your paper. But another way to determine how hard your type bars strike the paper is by how hard you press the keys, the buttons, whatever you guys want to call this. I have a very light touch, and so I might want a different setting than my husband, who has a very heavy hand. Anyway, so you can adjust how you want to type on. Every typewriter is different. Every typewriter requires different pressure, a different speed. Every typewriter has kind of its own flow, and it usually takes a few uses, a few days or weeks to really figure out what your typewriter likes. This typewriter is very easy to use. I have petite hands, and so I had no problem typing on this. So over here, you have your ribbon reversal. So once you get to the end of your ribbon, it's not the end of your ink. You're gonna wanna reverse the direction. And then you just go back and forth until you use up all of the ink on your ribbon. Now, some ribbons come with a grommet at the end of the ribbon, and that will trigger an auto reverse, but it has to do with the ribbon and not with the typewriter. So our ribbons do not have auto reverse. You need to manually do it, but it's always good to know how to manually reverse your ribbon if you need to. Color selector is on the right side. Red is on the bottom. Black is on the top, but it always, why they put a blue dot on these, I don't know, but it's black. And then in the middle is a white dot. It's stencil. You will never use that. And if your setting is on the white, it's not going to type properly, because what's happening is it's not fully engaging with the paper. Well, it is. It's just that the ribbon vibrator is not coming up. And so the key bar is not, let me see. Okay, so see here, I put it on the red. Now watch the ribbon, it'll go up when I hit a key. See how it goes up? So then that key is hitting the ribbon and imprinting ink on the paper. But when I put it on white, that key is going up and hitting the paper. And in this case, it's not even gonna let me hit the paper. Well, that's probably because I'm at the margin. There, now it's letting me hit the paper. But the ribbon is not going up, so it's not imprinting any ink on the paper. So that's what that white does. So if you're having trouble typing, two things to check: make sure you're firmly on the black or the red, and try reversing the direction of your ribbon. If you see the ribbon getting tight, or if you notice that the ribbon's not moving when you're typing, then try reversing the direction or making sure everything's threaded properly. Okay, so that is the basics of using your typewriter. Oh, I guess I need to go over a few more things. Here's your backspace. Backspace does not erase, but when you make a mistake, which you will, then you can either backspace and type over it and keep going, or you can backspace and X through it and keep going. I mean, that's just part of typing. You will make mistakes. You're not going to type perfectly. The tab is going to stop where you have it set, you know, with the keys back here. And then the margin release, boy, I didn't even type that even close. So now it's stopped because I'm in the middle of the word, but it's stopped because I'm at the end of my margin. So MR, finish my word. I'm gonna retype release. Okay, I didn't even type that correctly on that other line. But anyway, that is how you use a typewriter, a tabulator. It's a very simple, easy to use typewriter. All right, thanks so much for watching. Talk to you later, bye-bye.